Yo, people, we are back with take two. It's your boy Brix.
And I'm If.
How you
And
doing today,
welcome.
If?
I'm good. Welcome to the Null Reference Experience. It's our new podcast,
Yes, sir.
brought to you by Brix and IF, two guys that are at the intersection of hip hop, tech, and and everything in between. What I miss? Hip hop, tech, and nerd
That
culture, and
nerd
everything in
culture.
between. Of course, and everything in between. And we'll get the intro right eventually. But that's where we are right now. So, welcome to the show, and we'll jump right into it, man. How's your weekend?
Good, man. Actually, it's really chill, really chill. We got little guy, little basketball hoop, and he been being out here as Mr. Kobe Bean himself.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You
Yeah.
guys, what are you working on? His handles, his layup,
Nah, man, he
his
going
three
straight for the
ball.
dunking.
Okay,
Ah,
old school basketball. That's
you
what's up.
know,
Because now all
yam
he does is
sessions.
shoot, right?
Yeah, man. He gonna be too tall for that, but we gotta teach him how to shoot though.
Have you seen Women Yama?
Yeah, but we old school with it, bro. We keep it
I'm
old
just
school.
I'm just saying
We
too
keep it
tall
old
isn't
school.
a thing. He's 7'4", shooting threes. So
Absolutely. He'll be
yeah,
shooting threes, but we got to work on what's the base. That base got to be that big boy.
gotcha. Okay, so you want him to be a little Shaq. Okay, I could dig that. I could dig that. Well,
Yeah.
let's hop right into it, man. This weekend, the biggest thing that happened right now, or at least in my opinion, that everybody's talking about is the new Future album, specifically Kendrick Lamar's verse on the
Yes,
Future album.
sir.
Did you listen to it?
Absolutely. And before we even go segue into that, I am not a big Future fan, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. But the album was actually fire, bro. I
For
actually
real?
liked the album. Yeah, I liked it. I listened
Okay.
to it a couple
So,
times. I don't know if it was because of Metro Boomin or the features were just nice.
so I'll say this: I'm not a Future fan either, like that. I like. Well, I am. I'm a fan of the singles. I've
Singles and
never
not the
listened
albums.
to a Future album from beginning to end. This was my first time actually listening to it, and I bought into the drama surrounding it. That's why I listened to it, right? But
Okay.
much like you, I liked it though, and I
Yeah.
think it. I had a discussion with my brother about it, and we are trying to understand like why he is more of like a Future fan, and I'm more of like a J Cole Kendrick fan, and I think it's like there's a vibe that Future brings, or as he put it, you listen to Future for the vibes. And
Absolutely.
when I looked at it from that perspective, I was like, okay, I get it. And it helped that like I listened to it in the car for the first time.
He had that thought behind him. That's what it
Oh
was.
man, that Tesla sound system was like you don't hear anything. You don't hear the roar of the engine, the car. All you hear is just the beat. So
Yeah.
it won me over. And like you said, I think Metro Boomin won me over more so than everything else. And then listening to the melodies of the songs and all that, I thought that was pretty hard too. But you got to be catty. So what did you think of
So
the
let me
beef,
ask you a
man?
question because I know you said you didn't listen to a Future album. Does that include the Future Drake album?
Correct. Yep. I may have listened to it, but not to its entirety. Like I listened to it in passing. So yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. But no, I never listened to the Future and Drake album. I listened to the singles, but not the whole thing. Did you like that one though?
Yeah, it was straight. I mean, to me, it was. I don't remember it being long. I remember it being like 6, 7 tracks. So it kind of was like that round of Kanye albums. So
Mm,
I didn't really take it as a full album, more like a EP ish. But it was straight.
yeah,
I take this
but
one over the Future and Drake though.
overall,
You
I can
know
see
me,
that.
I like longevity in albums, so I can actually listen and feel the vibe. And I just feel like
Gotcha,
with 6, 7 tracks, you really don't feel the vibe. It's just kind of like, hey, I got these songs in the bag. Let me let y'all
right?
hear what I've been working on, type deal.
Gotcha. But the beef though, the beef. What do you
Let's
think
talk
about
about the
the
beef.
what do you think about the Kendrick verse?
So here's my caveat, and I don't know how everyone else feels. I will tell you, I actually had to do some digging and just listen to. So I listened to, I believe the track's called "Like That" multiple
Mm-hmm.
times in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, I don't understand where this is coming from. And then I went back and listened to First Person Shooter, and then I listened to that multiple times in a row. And here's what I got. And oddly enough, that same night that I did that, I actually listened to the Joe Budden podcast, and they were saying the exact same thing that I was thinking. So
Mm-hmm.
one, I don't necessarily think that beef is a Kendrick J. Cole. I think it's more of a Kendrick Drake, which they have been beefing Sly Slick Talk on
Right.
multiple tracks anyway. Um, I do think at that point in which J. Cole gave Kendrick his props, and then maybe 2-3 bars after that, he's totally like, nah, you ain't really the GOAT. So he says, he talks about the big three. He was like, it's K. Dot, Drake, and Cole. But then at like 2 bars later, he's like, it's like the Spider-Man meme, just me and Drake. And it's like, how do
Right.
you go and say, oh, it's three of us, but then you go and say, nah, it's really two of us. And then on top of that, he's like, nah, it's really just me. I'm Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali in this. So
Right.
a lot of it was competitiveness, I feel like. But you know, K Dot don't like friends, bruh. I feel like K Dot is that lone wolf. And they made a good point too that I didn't even know about or think about. K Dot's no longer on TDE,
Right.
which is why they think he was like off the rails. Screw everything. I'm about to just yeah. You
Right.
know what
Right.
I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
But what do
Right.
you think?
But no, I agree with what they said too. I think my takeaway from it is like you said, or like they said, it's clearly targeted at Drake, and you know Cole is kind of getting caught in
He
the
got
crossfire
strays.
of it.
Right, right.
But I don't think if it's a Drake Kendrick beef, I think Kendrick wins hands down. I don't think I don't, not that Drake doesn't have the ability to compete with him. I think he does. I just think that I don't. Kendrick may bring it back out of him like how he did Meek Mill, but I don't see that. I don't see it being that same fire. I see him trying to do something weird that won't really hit as hard. I think really the dark horse is going to be J. Cole. Like however J. Cole responds is going to dictate how
What
good of a
happens?
beef this is or what.
Right.
Uh, but I don't want it to be a crew beef. I don't want it to be uh, Drake and J. Cole versus uh, Kendrick and Future. Like I don't want that, even though that's kind of what it has become though.
I can see that going, but you know what I would rather see? Give me Kendrick and Baby King versus J. Cole and JID. Give me that. Give me all that smoke. That's what I
So you,
want to see.
so you just put Drake out of it altogether.
Hey, look, here's the thing, right? Along with what you said, right? I don't necessarily think Drake would last at all with K Dot, but here's why. I can put K Dot on the same level as Pusha, and Drake couldn't last with Pusha. So let's just go ahead and say this: Drake, just stay out. Just just go on the sidelines and cheer J. Cole on, be like, yeah, first person shooter, let's go. And
Why you
just stay
say he
out.
couldn't last with Pusher?
He
What did he do
didn't.
that didn't last though?
He didn't. It's not that he didn't last. It's he didn't retaliate. He said
Right.
something. Pusher went on the rip, and then Drake was like, "All right, I'm bowing out, bro."
But you remember the whole what's his name? Jay Prince got involved and told him to stop, and that's allegedly what transpired.
Allegedly,
Jay
allegedly.
Prince came out and said that, and then Drake said he is standing down because of Jay Prince.
Okay. I
So,
mean,
so
that's fine.
I think Drake has the ability to make it a fight. I just don't know if he's ready to do so because that's who I think Kendrick wants, right? That's the whole
Oh, that's
Prince outlive.
definitely who he wants.
When he said Prince outlived Mike Jackson, that's he's in this case he's viewing himself as Prince, and Drake has to be the Mike Jackson, of this
Right, right,
conversation. So
right.
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited for it. I do want to see. I think it's going to end up being like Future and Drake going back and forth more often than not, and
Agreed.
J
And that
Cole
I
and
don't think anybody want to see that though. Really,
I
it's
think
just gonna be like the battle of the harmonizers.
I think you got general culture, pop culture fucked up if you think that people don't want to see that. Like,
So no, let me rephrase
what,
that.
the reason I'm saying that is like when you actually look at sales, Drake and Future probably sell more than Kendrick and Cole. So
Absolutely. I mean, from a hip hop rap head. So the masses can have the Drake and Kendrick because that's what they're going to feed into. The two, one of the, or these are probably two of the biggest mainstream artists right now. Is Drake and Drake and Future. Sorry,
Future.
Drake and Future. That's what they want to see, and because Future is who he is and how he's been like the monarch leading this new harmonizing rap culture, hip hop culture. Um, Same time, Drake kind of also established that. I think Drake actually established that first with like Houston. What was it? Houston, Atlanta, whatever that
Houston,
track
Atlanta,
was.
Vegas.
Yeah, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, and all the other stuff on So Far Gone. But I think more of the Future kind of like, all right, I'm gonna become owner of this. And so Drake, although he should, and I believe Drake deserves his flowers for that because I don't think anybody, and I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody was coming as hard as they were in the beginning, like Drake with the rapping singing. And we had this discussion on one of the podcasts earlier where I said Drake was, oh man, he was only a singer when he first came out. I went back and listened to a couple of those albums, a couple of those mixtapes. And all right, cool. It was kind of 50-50. It's just that you remember the singing more than the rapping because that's what drew everyone in. He was one of the like originators in that I'm going to do the full singing and not just a Chance the Rapper hook. You know, I don't think Chance can sing. I think he can really harmonize. I think Drake has way more vocals in singing. And it again, just my opinion. So no shots at Chance. You know, I don't want to start no other beef. But I think Drake was one of the first real mainstream artists that was able to transcend in that sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, he came out before both of them, and he succeeded before him, right? But I think to the point that you were trying to make of like the hip hop head, the hip hop heads are the minority, right? The general
That's all I
public
care about.
is yeah, but the hip hop heads are the minority, and
I
if
know.
the reality is if it wasn't done on this Future track, I don't think it would have been as big as as it has become because he threw shots at them indirectly on other songs before. This isn't the first time Kendrick has thrown shots, specifically at Drake, and this is probably the second most obvious one that he's done.
Give
But
me the
no
first.
one, no, I think he did. You said give you the first.
Yeah. What do you think is the
Uh,
first obvious?
it was he said something to the effect of like it's been quiet since I dropped control. I can't remember the song or the actual. You listen to the Joe Budden podcast. They mentioned it explicitly when he said it before, but it's been done before. But the general public didn't give a fuck, right? Like,
Right.
or at least it wasn't enough to get Drake to respond. But now it's being done on Future, so I think that on Future CD, so that combination of the ears that are listening to it, who is beefing with him, right? They did an album together. So now it's like, okay, your boy ain't with you no more. Your boy's dissing you too. Y'all complaining about whatever nonsense y'all got going on. And I just roasted you on the track. And the conversation for the past 6 months has been how J. Cole murdered you on your own song, right? So I think like all those things together is why people care about it. So believe it or not, I just feel like it's good. It being Future and Drake involved in it, it makes it a bigger deal than if it was just J. Cole and Kendrick. Even though I think that's
Absolutely.
probably the more likely uh, entertaining part for us is going to be J. Cole's
Absolutely.
response. So.
And here's where I'm gonna piggyback off what you said and just add a little heat to the flame. Kendrick did Control, where he called out everybody. And it's almost like, oh, that's a fire track, but everybody was quiet.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it goes to what you say, like, because hey, you're on with Future, and Future now has beef with Drake. Now it makes sense. And I can just see from Kendrick's standpoint is like, again, I didn't necessarily start this, but you said something, and I've been retaliating every time you said something, but we keep acting like this doesn't exist. So guess what I'm gonna do? Just like how I expect Kendrick to do. Why? Because this man is straight out of Compton. I'm gonna keep doing it until somebody tells me stop.
Right. Right. But so let me ask you this: who do you think responds first, Drake or J. Cole?
Here's the thing, right? I don't know if Drake is gonna respond, and I don't think J. Cole cares to respond. But again, just like Joe Budden in his podcast, I believe if J. Cole is trying to claim number one, he has to respond. He has to respond. Even though we all know it's not really about J. Cole, you still have to respond. If it's slight, it just has to have a response.
He's gonna respond. I think. I
Exactly.
think J. Cole is definitely gonna respond. I think both of them both will respond. So I disagree with you there that Drake won't. I think if anything, maybe he may not. It may be something passive or some innuendo on a freestyle or whatever the case may be. But they're both gonna respond. I think the J. Cole. Did you listen to the clip I sent you? I sent it to you like a week ago from a
Mm-mm.
snippet of his. Oh, check your text, man. You be ignoring my text.
I didn't. Nah,
But
man.
I
I don't be
even
seeing half of that.
I went as not send it just to you. I went as far as to screen record the actual song and send it by itself, as opposed to
You did.
just sending you the link.
I started listening to it, and I don't know what happened, but I don't think I finished it.
Well,
I gotta
you did
finish it. I gotta
yourself a
finish it.
disservice because that was hard. And
I gotta
my
finish
point
it.
is that he's in the midst of recording an album, and if that's what's going to be on it, and the snippets he's been dropping, like he's going to respond, and I think he's going to respond with some fire. The
So
the Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying I don't disagree with you. But remember, we got hyped up on the last J. Cole album because all the freestyles that were coming out, and even the first track with Cam on that, where he was like, "Yo, this is my da 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 da," and then we listened to the album, and it was like, "All right, it's a J. Cole album, but he ain't coming with that. I'm hitting these freestyle J. Cole."
Right,
So
and listen to the
you
song
have
I
to show
sent
me.
you.
Okay,
Listen to the
I'll
song I
finish it out
sent you,
again. I'll
because I
finish it
think
out again.
you're not you just may not be listening to it because
I'll finish it out again.
that's supposed to be an album track. And I went back and re-listened to the last J. Cole album, and it was I was I think my criticism is still the same. I think he sounded better when he had other people's production, and he sounds
Oh yeah.
best when he's a feature. But I think I was too critical of the album, and upon a more recent listen, it's a decent album. It's a good album. It's I think
So
people were higher on it than me, but I think it is a good album.
all power to it. I love the album. That wasn't my problem with the album. My problem is I had this false hope of energy. And that energy between the freestyles and the first track, I just didn't feel like that energy gave me that whole album. I feel like there was
Gotcha.
definitely tracks in that album where I was like, all right, there's that J. Cole in there. It was like a roller coaster, bro. You'd be like, there we go. And I just felt like that the whole album. And there, to be fair, I don't think, and here's my hot take. Y'all can all scream at me, slap me, whatever. I am a J. Cole like fan. I've been listening to J. Cole way back with the come up, the warm up, all the old joints years ago.
You about to say some shit
Oh,
crappy
I'm
on
about to
him,
say
right? You about to
something.
shit on him
I'm not about
because
to by no
you
means.
giving
Nope,
all that
nope,
preamble.
nope. I'm not about to shit on him at all because
When you
again,
just
I'm a
started with,
J.
I've
Cole
been
fan.
listening to J. Cole from the beginning. I used to call him Jermaine. Go ahead.
But I will say he has not had a prime album yet. And what I mean by that, like, if we look at, take Jordan in his prime, right? Jordan in his prime had 6 titles. Mm-hmm. Again, I think J. Cole's album have been immaculate for most of them. I don't think he maxed his potential on any of his albums yet. I don't think he's close to his potential. If you go back and we can piece together some tracks from the Come Up, the Warm Up, Friday Night Lights, you can piece tracks together and see that potential that J. Cole has and always will have. He's been doing this every year, lacing us with tracks where you're like, oh my God, J. Cole is nasty. But he just doesn't bring that on every album. So and that's why I said I wanted to say my premise to say, yo, I'm not hating on him. I think J. Cole has more in his gas tank, and he's just not ready to put the foot on the gas yet. Well, and I'm waiting for that album where he puts the foot on the gas and he just eats. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Based off of the snippets that's been coming out, I think this is probably it.
It's going to be the closest we get.
Yeah. Well, no, not the closest we get. I mean, because to me, that statement kind of sounds like he's nearing the end of his career. Like, to me, that sounds more like a basketball analogy where you're saying, hey, you're 34 years old and you haven't had your, capitalized your prime. Like, I personally think that he is getting better. Like, I think everything you're saying, taking that, if you take that in, I think he has gotten better just from a skill perspective. And I think you kind of see that with the features he's been doing. I think the problem is that when it becomes an album, piecing everything together doesn't always fit to the way you want it or I want it, because he's creating a vision and we just want, LA Leakers freestyle for 10 tracks. But you can't do that, right? Like, you would love that, but I would love it, but it ain't gonna sell if it's just.
I agree.
If it's
basketball was
45
a bad
minutes
comparison
of bars.
Basketball was a bad comparison because, again, I don't think J. Cole's anywhere near his end. All I'm saying is I want you as an artist, and I'm not saying that you have to have nothing but fire bangers every track. I want to go out of an album, listen from J. Cole, and say J. Cole put everything he had in that album. And it is
but I feel that
visible.
Way about Forest Hill Drive, though.
Yes, but
I feel that way.
Even with Forest Hill Drive, so Forest Hill Drive was a all J. Cole album, right? Mm-hmm. There was nobody else on that album. No features, no productions, nothing.
He had some features. Yeah, no. You're thinking of KOD and For Your Eyes.
Wasn't Forest Hill?
Because that was the one he had with Missy. He had a song with Missy on there. He had the song with TLC on there. He didn't produce all those, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, I'm gonna look that up. But what was the album he went platinum on? Where he was the first. And if you go,
no. Talking about the first person with no features. I think that was KOD or For Your Eyes only. No, I think it was KOD. KOD was the one with no features.
I'm gonna have to do some research. Nope, but 2014 Forest Hill Drive
had no. He did all the production on there.
Yep. It says this album is famed for have been successful without any feature appearances.
Yeah, feature appearances, but I'm talking about. You said production and stuff. The one that he did everything, because that was my issue with KOD was that he did everything and it sounded like a singular voice. And I think he does better when they're when he has injected the influence of other people to make his music even better. When it's just him doing the production and the rapping, I don't think it's as great as it could be.
Agreed. But as we've seen with J. Cole and most other great artists, they match the energy they get from features. Period. And I'm not saying that J. Cole wasn't in his bag, because Forest Hill Drive, I'm going to tell you, it's so great that you need to go listen to the live version. The live version is immaculate, bruh. It is one of the best albums I've ever heard when he did it at Fayetteville, North Carolina. But what I'm saying is, it's almost like that untapped saying energy. And
Let's dead it at that. Let's
Correct.
move on to the next topic. But I will say, if whatever happens, let it happen. Just let it rain on me. I want to see it all.
Pause. Or no, I'm sorry,
Hey,
no
no
Diddy.
Diddy.
No Diddy.
Hey man,
Man,
they gotta stop doing that, man, like that.
why?
Man, that's just, bruh. I don't know, bruh. That's just
He
it. Just
brought it on
feel bad.
himself,
I
man.
know it just feel bad, bruh.
And it's hard for me to feel bad for somebody that he is a multimillionaire, like Liquid. He's
Oh,
got a lot of money. But he lived a wild life, and he did a lot of
that's
wild
what happened when
stuff.
you a wild boy.
He is and
But I
was a
mean, come on
wild
now. Let's
boy.
be for real, bruh. We done said that boy was questionable for some years. You ain't calling another man daddy, dog. You ain't calling another man daddy. Not on camera, man.
I mean, that's how some people talk, but
Oh,
still, I
bro.
mean, how's that any different than like
I
the
like it when
Hispanic
you
people
do it
talking about
like that, daddy. Come
no
on, bro.
Diddy, man? Come on, no
Nah,
Diddy.
he said I like it when you do it like that, daddy. Like, come on, bro.
Hey, I,
Anyway,
I'm
let's
not
move on.
judging that man, whatever he does,
Oh,
but
there was no judgment. I'm just saying some of them terms you would have
I,
got hit with that camera pause, so
no Diddy,
no
no
homo.
Diddy, no Diddy, no Diddy. You can't. We don't
Sorry,
say
no
that.
Diddy, no
That's
Diddy.
offensive to that
My bad,
community.
my
So
bad,
no
my bad,
Diddy.
my
It's all
bad.
good. Peace.
No Diddy.
Uh,
Peace, love, and
peace,
harmony.
love, and harmony. God bless you all. Uh, but we'll keep on moving about beef though. Speaking of beef and people fighting, what do you think about the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight coming up on Netflix? What you got? Who you got? Who you got?
Hey man, I want somebody to take Jake Paul out. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater. Here's my thing, right? I think it's very disrespectful to the craft to decide. Now, let me start by saying I think J. Cole, or not J. Cole, Jake
You want
Paul
J Cole to
is
fight?
actually no. I don't know if he ain't. But I think Jake Paul is a way better boxer than many people give him credit to be. But come on, man, stop going at these people that are retired and out the game or in a different sport. Fight a boxer that would have been now, because technically Jake is now, right? This is his class. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are that good in being a boxer, hop in the boxing ring. And I understand if you want to say, hey, they don't make enough money. Bet a lot of them don't. Make it happen the way you make all these other fights happen. And
Right.
caveat and win off of that. Make the money off of that. Stop getting these people that are retired out of their prime. Even to Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson's been retired for years, haven't really fully had a televised fight in decades. And I still look at this fight and say, Tyson has a good chance to knock his ass out. Tyson looks good. How long it gonna last? I don't know. If it
I
goes
guess
the distance, I don't know if Tyson can go the distance. But if Tyson comes out and he does old Tyson and it's like, yeah.
so. I
What you
got a
think?
controversial opinion, man. If I was putting money on it, I would put money on Jake Paul. Uh,
Yeah,
not not because I want to, but
exactly.
he's 30 years younger than Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's 57 years old. He is 27 years old. And if you actually watch the beautiful thing about watching those highlights of Tyson now when he's in the ring and he's sparring and stuff is that those only last a few seconds,
My
right?
point. Exactly.
So I think as a 57-year-old legend and a 57-year-old beast, I think he can do that for a period of time. I think that Jake Paul can sustain it for a longer period of time. I think that if you
Agreed.
watch the Tyson and Roy Jones fight, they it looked like they were taking it easy on each other, or it looked like Tyson was taking it easy on Roy Jones. But I don't know if that's because he couldn't do it like he wanted to, right? So, when I've seen the clips of Jake Paul practicing sparring, well, not sparring, but just practicing doing hitting the heavy bag mitts. I mean, he looks like a 27-year-old should, and
As he should. You're right.
right. So, I think that Pete, like you said, if Tyson can muster up old Tyson, man, if Tyson can muster up old Tyson, he'd still be fighting right now, right? But
Right.
I don't think he can. And I think the unfortunate part for Jake Paul is that it's kind of a lose lose because if he wins, well, no, it's a lose lose win. Like if he wins, he beat up a 57-year-old legend, right?
Right.
If he loses, it's like, of course you're supposed to
Mike
lose. The
Tyson.
great Mike Tyson,
Right.
right? So either way, he gets money, he gets paid, and he's drawing in eyeballs. He's got people talking about it, and it's going to get a lot of people to talk about it.
Absolutely.
But to your earlier point, though, I don't want to see it. But to be fair, if he was fighting a professional boxer who was 27 years old and had 6 fights under his belt, I wouldn't watch it, right? I wouldn't tune in to watch him fight someone who's legitimately on his level until he earns his way up to fight for a contender, fight for a title, or fight against somebody of notoriety. So I get it, but you know, I don't view it as a disrespect to boxing anymore. At first, I did, but I kind of feel like the professional boxers, they need to find a way to promote their fights and make their fights more recognizable.
Absolutely. I
Because
agree.
a better thing to do would be for I was about to say a real fight, but a more notable fighter to be on the undercard to this, or to be the main event to this. Well, I guess they couldn't be the main event because Tyson and Jake Paul is what people would want to see.
Right.
But you can have a respectable fighter that's fighting before this, and I think that should be. If I were Jake Paul, or if I were someone in this camp, that's what I would be pushing for them to do, is to draw that in, so sort of no matter what, people won't legitimize them.
Didn't they have that on one fight?
Probably.
Where the undercard was actually a real boxing match?
Probably. I can't recall. I to be honest with you, I've only watched the one, like when he fought Nate Robinson. That's the only fight I watched.
Ooh.
The rest of them, I don't even know if I watched it, just saw the highlights, or found a link to watch it. But I haven't really watched his fight, so I don't know. He may have a real fight. He may be doing exactly what I'm saying, and I'm just missing it. But
let me pose a question to you. Which of the Paul brothers, if they fought each other, who do you think was going to take it?
Just off of optics, Jake Paul. He's bigger, he's stronger. He's had more professional fights, so I think Jake Paul. I don't even think it'd be close. I think the other brother is doing wrestling now, so
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Hey, again, the Paul boys, and that's what I'm gonna call them now. On the Paul boys, bro, they know how to make their money, because like a lot of people laugh at Logan for doing that. Logan's making that cake, dog.
They're laughing at him for doing professional wrestling?
Some people are, yeah.
Oh man, and
because
those people are
people
stupid.
Feel about professional wrestling.
So they're laughing at The Rock because he went back.
I know. I'm just saying. I would do, if I was in their shoes. Sign me up, bro. Let me make that money the same way.
I don't know, man. I question those people, whoever is laughing at them, because I think it maybe 30 years ago, professional wrestling was viewed, in a weird light, but so many with so many professional wrestlers being mainstream success stories,
now,
The Rock, John Cena. I mean, I would think people just view it as like another form of entertainment. Like that whole illusion of, is it real? No one thinks it's real anymore, right? Like everyone knows it's scripted and stuff.
But
right.
Even to being scripted, they're still taking the blows. They're still.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it still requires a high level of athleticism.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But
there's still some form of wrestling in there. Hey, they said what when Vince McMahon came out one time and
he blew both hamstrings.
Hey, that's when you know you love the culture, bro. He came out, blew both hamstrings, was on the floor like, y'all better start fighting right now.
Right. And then he finished that like sitting down in the ring with the mic. Man.
Hey, I think that's a good segue to talk about this bullshit you sent me.
Hold on, wait. Speaking of which, did you see? You've heard about the BS going on with Vince McMahon though?
The sexual stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
I
talking
don't
about.
keep track of it,
I
but
I know, but we mentioned the whole no Diddy stuff, and you talk about people being a wild boy. That's another one, man. If you read the
isn't that
read
why
the details
The
of it,
Rock came back?
I think that not. Well, that's not. That opened the door for The Rock to come back
Got
because
you. Okay, got
he had to sell and so on and so forth. So, but
understood.
but
Understood.
but my bad. You're talking about bullshit. What bullshit, man? What you talking about?
Hey man, why you send me a clip out here on these streets? James Harden over here blocking his own teammate.
James Harden is perhaps to me one of the greatest memeable basketball players of all time. So if you haven't seen the clip, you have James Harden. He passes the ball. See, this is what makes it so great, right? It's bad enough what he did. He passed the ball to Kawhi. He made the pass to Kawhi and then proceeded to attempt to block Kawhi's shot himself. So it's like, I want you to take the shot, and then he changes like, nah, never mind. Fuck that. Miss it.
I'll wait. I was
But
like, bro, what am I looking at here?
but the what makes it which is the better outcome? Because he missed. Kawhi missed the shot. Would it have been better if Kawhi made the shot, or is it better that he missed it?
Oh, bro, you know what I would have liked to see? I would like to see Kawhi make it and then give James Harden that same stare he gave old boy where he crossed him up on the three and looked at him and then shot it and then looked back. Bro, that's what I would like to see. I know it wouldn't have happened that way because obviously you're on the same team, but
Right.
for doing that foolishness, you throw me a pass, then you run out to like you're the fucking closer. Like, what are you doing, bruh? And here's what baffles me so much. You don't play defense. Why play defense when you on offense, bruh? Like, come on. You've never played defense like that. But now you
But
want to play defense on your own teammate? Like, what's the beef? Where's the beef? That's what I want to know. Where's the beef, bruh? Hit him with that Wendy's commercial.
Where's the beef? So which is worse though? Which is worse now? Because everybody's gonna get on Harden, rightfully so. But several years ago, when LeBron was in Miami, the first time he played Cleveland, he passed the ball and then set a pick against his own teammate. So which is worse? Attempting to block your teammate's shot or setting a pick on your own teammate?
They're
Which is it?
Stupid. I mean, come on, bro. They're equally stupid. I'm not gonna say one is a greater sin. At the end of the day, if you lose by 1 point and it's because of that, you're a dumbass. Because you could, I mean, shit, you could put, and again, I hate to bring him up because I love this person as a basketball player. You could put J.R. Smith in there too.
JR is
run the timeout and then call a timeout when you ain't got no timeout. Like, come on, bro.
JR's is worse because of the stage. That was the NBA Finals, right? Like, I just sent you the link so you can see LeBron. I had it wrong. Is when he left Miami and went back to Cleveland. He's playing Miami and he sets a screen.
He forgot he wasn't on Miami.
Yeah.
That to me, I think it's a easier fallback. Again, not the best answer. Like, you shouldn't do it, but at least I can understand that, right?
Because he's so used to setting screens for Norris Cole that
I'm just running the play. He knows the play, right? But again, because you are who you are, right? You've already got the notoriety. You've already been in the league for however many years when he went back to Cleveland. I don't know the exact time. And you already have the ring. You got to know that, bruh. You got to know that. Period.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Harden is worse only because, but on top of what you said about him not playing defense consistently and all that, I think Harden's is worse because he just passed him the ball. Like I could see LeBron, his situational awareness is so high. He's been doing this for 4 years, playing with them for 4 years, that he sees Norris Cole at the 3-point line moving to his right. So he's like, okay, instinct, set a screen. I get that. But you don't just pass him the ball and then run around a curl and put your arm up to try to block a shot. Like, come on, man.
Hey, what
that's
to say? Hands down,
hand down, man down.
Hey, but what's worse? Him forgetting that he passed the ball and that's his teammate, or him forgetting that he's in COVID and go to Magic City for some wings?
Well, first of all, Lemon Pepper Lou, A-Town legend. Let's never forget.
Didn't Harden got hit with the same thing?
The only one I remember for sure is Lou Williams, aka Lemon Pepper Lou, A-Town's finest. I don't recall Harden getting hit up during lockdown.
It might not have been COVID. It might be. I gotta find it. I'm gonna find it and send it to you.
No, I mean, don't get it wrong. I'm sure Harden has done a lot of stuff. Like, have you ever seen the clip where he gets a bad call and he's frustrated and he dribbles the ball real hard and it hits himself in the head? And then Josh Hart is looking like, what the fuck?
I saw that.
Yeah, so like he's got lots of memeable moments for sure. I just don't recall the wings thing. That was, Lou Williams.
It was the strip club in Houston. I was mixing it too, but you're right. Lou Williams was Magic, and then Harden was caught at the strip club in Houston. Instead of practice or some shit like that.
Oh, okay. Just
be on the
talking about practice.
No. He was supposed to.
This was during COVID.
I don't think it was during COVID. I feel like it was. He was supposed to be with the team going to travel to a game, and instead he went to a strip club.
Nice. I mean, his jersey's hanging in the strip clubs in Houston. So that was, my weird theory. That's why his stint at Brooklyn didn't work out.
Who? Harden?
Harden. Yeah, that's why he had to get out of Brooklyn. New York has terrible strip clubs. They don't even get naked. So he had to get out of there. Yeah, it's just topless in New York. A lot of like several cities or states is like if they serve alcohol, they can't get nude. It's just topless. So yeah,
I mean,
what's Harden
had one. We got one in Atlanta, kind of like that too.
For real?
Yeah. Well, so it's funny because they were, you can't get naked. Period. Like pasties and everything, right? And then Atlanta goes, hey, well, if you're a strip club, we're taking your liquor license anyway. So not only do they not get naked, but they don't have a liquor license anymore.
What club is that?
Wax.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, you remember Night School?
Yes.
You remember where he was working at the Clucking Chicken?
Yeah, I remember that. It's right over there on Fulton Industrial, right off that one.
Was it JJ Fish now? But that was Wax in the background.
So they lost their liquor license?
All of South Fulton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All strip clubs in South Fulton, bro.
I didn't know that. Okay, well.
I mean,
tough times, man. Tough times.
Bro, it's better than what they did to the folks out in Roswell.
What they
shut
do
all them down. They was like, yeah, we don't want y'all in our county. Shut every last one of them down. Same thing they did with Follies. Bro, they be hating on the strip clubs now, dog.
I didn't know that. I guess that shows how out of the loop I am. I had no knowledge of that. That sucks for them. They'll be all right. Don't worry. Another strip club will pop up somewhere.
They'll find somebody else. There's plenty of strip clubs in Atlanta.
They will find a way. I don't.
They'll make it happen.
Exactly. Just the poor out of work strippers will find. They'll find a home. I'm just saying, like
he said, the poor out of work strippers.
Yeah,
will find a home.
I'm gonna run for mayor. That's gonna be my. It's gonna be on my ticket.
Poor out of work
no,
strippers.
I'm gonna speak for the strippers. I'm gonna get them.
Hey,
they need a voice, man.
On that note, you saw out in Seattle during COVID, they were doing drive-through strip clubs during COVID.
Those are dark times, man. Like one day, we need to talk about like the wild. See, like which is crazier, a drive-through strip club or the fact that the general public, myself
Was
included,
going?
would no, I wasn't
Oh.
going to drive. Hold on, wait. Time out.
No, but
Time out.
real
No,
talk,
no.
no, but
You
not
went.
saying we were going, but
You
the
went.
fact that they had enough support
You
to
went.
have. I'm not in Seattle, bro. I'm in Atlanta.
I'm not gonna judge you if you drove all the way to
I did not
Seattle to
go
go to a
but
drive-through strip club.
the fact that general public went to, bruh, it was like a car wash.
Yeah.
I saw they had clips in the news where they literally, you had to stay in your car and then you got like 5-10 minutes and you sat there and then you had to drive out. I was like, bruh, y'all really need it like that?
Ingenuity. See,
I guess, dog.
I'm with them. But I'm saying, like, between the drive-through strip club, us Lysol and our groceries, like
What?
people were wiping down groceries during COVID, man. It was serious out there. You didn't hear where we you was living life like it's golden, I guess, because was wiping down groceries. A lot of people like
nigga, Lysol was a hot commodity, dog. You ain't had enough Lysol to be spraying extra like that.
Hey, I had to connect. You know what I mean?
You out here hoarding Lysol, dog?
Pretty much. Lysol and toilet paper, man. That was my
shed in the back, dog. 5 on the purple top.
That's how I became a millionaire during COVID. I saw it coming. Little birdies told me, my little birds told me COVID was on the way. Hey, I stocked up on pallets of toilet paper and Lysol. I was ready, dog. Get me. God, no. Oh man, but no, I didn't. I'd heard about the drive-through strip clubs. I try to block it out of my mind because just certain things I don't think we should go back to. Like, think about it. In 20 years, when you're telling your son about COVID,
he'll never know.
About COVID. No, then don't invite me over because I was like, hey, randomly, your dad brought up the drive-through strip. I don't know why it was on his mind.
Bruh, it was on the news.
Yes.
It just brought my mind up just on the craziness of how people are so in tune to, I need to do this so bad. They couldn't wait.
Well, if you vote for me for mayor of Atlanta, I will bring back the drive-through strip clubs because I know if nobody else wants it, Brix wants it.
Brix does not want it, dog. Hey, man, move on to the next topic, dog. Hey,
you brought it up.
Because you talk about how you gonna support the strippers.
They need help, man. They needed help.
Had help in COVID, bro.
They needed help, and they need help now that South Fulton is closing down strip clubs. Look at all these out of work strippers. They can't file for unemployment. We got to do something for them.
It's a job.
Nah, see, now they're gonna turn. They're gonna turn to escorts. See. Put a strip out of work, should become a professional expert.
Isn't that what it called?
I think they shut that down many years ago. That thing's been dead. You do that, you go into jail.
Hey, anybody that go to Backpage, they know it's the Black Whale.
Yeah, I think if you just type that in a browser, they just pop up at your door. Like, just put the mouse and keyboard down, sir. Come with me. Get in the back. I
saw where you were going.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just come on.
Just come with us. Just come with us.
Just come on.
Yeah. Just put your arms behind your back. Make this easy. Sicko. It's 2024. Find your escorts on Instagram like everybody else does.
Like everybody else. At least you go to Craigslist.
Yeah, just go on an explore page. That's all it's full of now. And scroll. They're fitness models. Come on. We know what's happening. Anywho.
That went a twisted left.
They ain't fitness models. They can't work out. They don't know what creatine is. But anyway, something else that happened over the weekend. I watched X-Men 97. Did you watch it?
No. So I'm going to tell you to hold off and stop.
Oh, man. I'm going to spoil it for you. You going to watch it?
Yeah. I saw clips and didn't. I thought it was an up and coming show, so I saw like a snippet of it. And I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. It reminds me of the '90s version. But then when you sent me the topic, and then actually one of the guys I watch, he does gaming, and he was talking about it. I was like, all right, I got to go check this out. So let's go ahead and put the brakes on that right quick.
I gotta talk to you about
it. I don't want to hear it. Hey,
I'm ruining it for you.
6 minutes left. I don't want to hear it.
No. But real talk though, I think you should check it out. I think
I am.
I'm interested. There's only got 2 episodes out now. They drop every Wednesday. They dropped the first 2 this past week. So and they're 30-minute episodes, so it'll be easy to watch. So
where is it on? That's all.
Disney Plus.
Bet.
Yes. So definitely check it out. We could discuss next week. I'm interested. I got some takes I want to get off. Then in other ones though, did you watch the live action Avatar: Last Airbender? Nah,
is that
dang
Disney
it.
Plus
You
too?
watched that too? Yep. That's no, that's Netflix. That's on Netflix. All right.
Let me take notes.
So
take notes.
I'll hold off on those 2 for now. Then I guess we can go to tech though. Did you hear about the antitrust lawsuit that the government is posing against Apple?
Nope. Fill me in.
Oh, okay. I sent you the link, but the short version is so they're filing an antitrust lawsuit against Apple. They're claiming that Apple's business practice, specifically as it pertains to iPhone, is trying to create a monopoly against the other manufacturers. Now, that sounds like bullshit because you can just as easily go and buy an Android device as you could an Apple device. And I think worldwide, Android OS is more popular than Apple simply because they're on more devices, whereas Apple, iOS is the largest single phone. But they're saying like practices such as how Apple will, if you send a text message to or from an iPhone, they purposely downgrade the quality such that it makes your experience terrible. The whole green bubble nonsense, so on and so forth. They're saying practices
from
like that.
iPhone or from an Android?
Any iPhone to Android communication fucks up the video.
Said iPhone to iPhone. That's why I was like, wait.
Oh, my bad. I was saying that
I understood.
Any non-iPhone communication via text gets fucked up. Specifically, videos and pictures, they purposely fuck up the videos so that it seems like you're having a bad experience, right? They're using SMS as opposed to the newer bandwidth to send communication across to make it seem as if like iPhone is superior and that you can't communicate. We can't fix it, so we're fucking up this video as we send it across. So they're saying that practices such as that, damn near bullying, are causing people to go to iPhone and creating somewhat of a monopoly within the market in the United States. So I wish you could watch that the clip though. Go ahead.
Isn't it the same way around though? Isn't like if you're an iPhone that sends to an Android, doesn't Android have to manipulate it because the infrastructure is different?
No. So the problem is not basically. Well, first I'll say there's one thing. First of all, I think the case is going to be BS, even though I am in favor of it because I do think Apple's practices are trash. And this is someone who, I'm in the ecosystem, but I think Apple's practices are just trash, right? And I think everything that they're saying is true. I just don't think I don't think that the lawsuit is going to have any teeth and have any impact. But to answer your question, as far as the communication, it is on Apple's side. They're the ones who are stepping on the videos before they send it off or after they get it, which is why sometimes incoming in from Android to Apple looks kind of okay, but it's always trash on the Android side. It's they compress it and fuck it up, and it's because they're using SMS, which is now outdated. There's newer forms of communication that can be used, but Apple chooses not to when communicating with non-Apple products. So,
I mean, that's that's been. I guess for me, one of the biggest gripes I've had for Apple too, because even if you look at their video isn't in a format that any other fucking software uses. It's like HEIC,
Right.
whereas like Android uses Move and Wave, the normal shit. And over in the UK, Apple got slapped with an ordinance where they had to move to Type C.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like it though. I'm happy that governments are basically standing up to Apple. Like I just think some of the dumb shit they do is I understand it from a business perspective. Like if all I care about is
More money.
making money, I get their practices, right? It is making them more money. Them using that lightning cable made them more money because they were the ones making it or making the majority of them, and people had to buy it from them. As opposed now they're on Type C, so you don't have to buy their specific one. But just kind of the way they do it, it's just so ass. It's like I don't know.
Right. I think I agree with you, right? I think it's good for the culture because then it opens up better competition and more devices. It opens a better experience for the overall population. Here's where I say, if you gonna do that to everybody. You know how many times I've been so pissed that PlayStation has their own proprietary chargers for their devices, or even on the portal, I can't use Bluetooth. I have to use Sony's headphones. Like, let's not make it just an Apple thing. Kind of direct everything, but then I guess that goes in. At what point is it too much?
Right.
Because then government could then say, "Oh, I'm going to change everything for this reason, that reason," and then start directing society. So I don't know. I think it's a hard place to go.
I think it's more of like an awareness thing. I think if you were to go into the Senate and just say, "Okay, everybody, give me your phone," you'll find a ton of iPhones, right?
Exactly,
And they could probably communicate with each other. Some people have Android, some have iPhones. They understand that, hey, I sent him this video is trash. She sent me this video is good. Oh, we both have iPhone. Blah 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 blah. So they could piece it together that this is a problem. They interact with your kids, grandkids, so on and so forth. I guarantee you, if you go on the Senate floor, maybe one or two people have a PlayStation.
I agree. iPhone and Apple is more integrated in everyone's life needs than a PlayStation is.
Yeah, everyone in Senate, everyone in Congress has a phone.
Right.
I don't think too many of them have.
I think there is more little things just like the iPhone that get overlooked, and it would be nice, not reasonable, but nice if companies can stop trying to monopolize everything. AKA Comcast. Comcast, stop trying to monopolize internet. Your internet is terrible, and you don't give us any options. Thank you.
But that's the nature of a business, though, right? Like as you grow, as you want to get bigger, you kind of every business wants to be a monopoly, right? Because you want everyone to come to you. You want to shut everybody else down. And with the example you just gave of like Comcast, right? That's kind of what happens. Bell South grows. The government comes in, split them apart. They fall apart. Those pieces start to come back together, and it grows and grows. It's like it's a cycle, and they probably will break down, Comcast. And I think the reason for that is more of like how regionalized it is, where if you live in a certain area, you can only get certain internet providers, right? So I think that's the problem, is that they need to, once they remove that restriction and allow for regional competition, I think then you'll start to see, I guess, better competition from other ISPs and stuff like that. But
I mean,
unfortunately,
to be fair, like I don't have any gripe against Comcast other than
sound like you do. Sound like you beefing with them.
Sucks,
sound like
bruh.
you about to release a diss record.
I wish I could, but then I know if I did, I wouldn't have internet to throw it in SoundCloud, bruh.
Hey man, go to AT&T.
You know what AT&T gives me in my neighborhood, and they talk about high speed,
What is
12
that?
gigs or 12 megabytes.
Oh man, 12 megabytes.
Bruh, talking
It's
about some
like you going back to
incredibly
dial-up
fast. Like,
days.
bruh, come on, dog. You might as well give me an Earthlink disc for real, for real.
Hey! Don't shit on Earthlink.
Hey, man, I
Earthlink
used to
got
have
me
a
through
ton of.
some hard times.
Trust me, I know, dog. Was it 93 minutes
Hey
per
man,
disc?
there you go. Man, them and them AOL discs, net zeros. Man, come on,
Ew.
stack up them net zeros. Hey, you don't know nothing about you. You youngsters don't know about them net zeros discs, man.
Oh,
When you get
we know.
the AOL
We
disc,
know.
90 hours, 90 hours of free AOL. Man, you got mail. I miss hearing that, man. It made no sense, but you know, like what you were saying about them doing it with others, though. That's really what's happening with the whole. Not what's happening, but you could say the exact same thing, like with what is happening with TikTok right now, right? They're trying to ban it. They want it to be sold and because their fear is of the data that's being collected. Every all of these services are stealing the same, are taking the same data,
Same
right?
data.
Instagram,
Right.
Twitter, X, all of them, they're all taking that same amount of data that TikTok is doing. The difference is that the parent company of TikTok is in China and they are fearful of, trying to say, hey, give me that information. But I mean, what's to say a company in Paraguay, Argentina, Russia doesn't start their own version and then it becomes popular. We'll be back. So only the US companies can steal our data. Like, it is what it is, man. It's all
Yeah.
fucked up. But
Agreed.
well, on that somber note, I think we'll wrap up for this. No. You had something else you wanted to say, or you had a question.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's go to the we got a new segue. For me, we're gonna call it the School of Bricks.
Go
So
ahead.
I work at a MSP, managed service provider, that is based out of Connecticut, I think. Boston maybe? Boston. I feel like Boston's better. Based out of Boston. So everybody on my team is in different states. And
Mhm.
so one of the homies, and I talked to D about it, and he had a good chuckle about this too. But one of the homies was like, we were talking about music in general, and then I just asked him a random question because I was like, "You're tried and true New Yorker. Who do you think is the originator of trap music?" So if I'm gonna pose that question for you, who do you think? We obviously know it's the South, and let's go ahead and I'll
So you're
pinpoint
saying
even further.
one specific artist
Not one specific artist, but give me, we'll say your top three
of where
originators for trap
trap
music.
music started?
Not where, because I'm gonna pinpoint it and say Atlanta.
I know, no, it's Atlanta, but I meant like from a
But
like
who?
right. I guess the because what is today considered trap music? I think I would say like I guess Ti. It's before Ti, like really Ti didn't start trap music, but I think the
He
form.
popularized it, I'll
Yeah,
say.
because I think to answer that, I would have to ask the question of how do you define trap music, right? Like, is it just selling drugs? Because folks been selling drugs in music,
Right.
right?
But it wasn't termed at that point. Let's talk about just the term of trap music.
Well, then I would say then you have to give it to Ti because I don't think they called it trap music until Tip did it,
I'm not disagreeing with you, right?
right?
So my answer was obviously you start with the king. He was trap music. He was the person that had an album called Trap
Trap
Music
music, right?
before anyone really knew what trap music was. I say again, around that generation, after him, you could possibly throw in Gucci, you could possibly throw in Jeezy, you could possibly throw in 2 Chainz, and people's like, "Oh, well, 2 Chainz didn't come out later." Nah, think about it. 2
Titty
Chainz
Boy.
was in Player Circle, Titty Boy. you could possibly throw out Yo Gotti, even though he's not Atlanta, but he still came out around that 2 Chainz, Jeezy era, right? The answer I got from my boy from New York was, and here's where I had to go, like, what are you talking about, homie? He said, Future, Migos, Young Thug.
Were you speaking to this
That
person?
was the-
Were you speaking in person or was he on the phone? Because my
Zoom
response,
Zoom call.
it was a Zoom call, and you hang up that Zoom call. You turn
Bruh,
off,
that's why
you
I looked
shut
at him
down
like,
your laptop.
what?
No, you shut down your
What?
laptop and disconnect it from the internet just so that stupidity doesn't make its way into your airway. Because Future, who else did he say? You lost me to Future. Who else did he say after that?
That's what I'm saying. But I started with Future, but he didn't start with Future. He started
I know,
with
but who are the
Migos.
other people? Migos.
Migos.
I'm saying Future
Young
because
Thug.
Future came out first. Out of
But
those,
I know, but
right?
if you're listening to his response, and he
It
starts
was
with Migos.
Migos. Yeah. And how old is this young man?
He's our
12?
age.
Nah,
He
he's
is
12.
our age, bruh.
He's 12. He just started listening to music like 10 years ago.
He is our age.
Yeah, but he grew up in a church and he didn't get to listen to music. He's a Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness.
Well, here's
Mormon.
the thing.
He's a Mormon, ain't
he? Nah.
They don't let him listen to music.
No, he ain't Mormon.
I'm trying to cop him some bail. There's a reason why he didn't start listening to music to the Migos, and he thinks they invented trap music, right? He's a Mormon. He's a Mormon. He's Amish. He's Amish.
No,
he's Amish. And he's on what is it, Rum Kapoor? What's it called when they get
I
there?
don't know, bro. You ain't about to get me caught up in a lawsuit. I ain't saying shit. But here's the thing, right? And here's where my second part of this segue goes, right? How many people, or I'm going to say people, how many tracks and artists do you think from Atlanta get unknown if you don't, you're not from Atlanta?
What you mean?
Like what tracks and artists from Atlanta that we know growing up in Atlanta, and I'll say from 93 and higher, right? Freaknik days. How many artists in Atlanta are unknown everywhere else, but they were major artists?
But it's a ton, right? But that's
agreed.
But you say that's everywhere. Every city, every region, every major city has its cluster of artists that like were big for them, but less so for everyone else, right? So
we're not talking about that right now, though. And I don't disagree with you, but this is our Atlanta segment. So give me mainstream artists from Atlanta.
Kilo.
That was one of mine, but hold on. That are big artists and big songs that people know, they just don't know the artist. Outside of Kilo, since we already named that.
Oh, so you're saying, wait, let me make sure I understand your argument, or not argument, but your question. So this is an artist that was big, or at least popular,
had at least a popular song,
right?
Atlanta people know exactly who they are. Outside of Atlanta or the South, we'll just say the South in general, they know the song but have no idea who the artists are.
So I'm almost like a one-hit wonder. I need some prep for this because, like, I don't even think people outside of Atlanta know Kilo though. So I don't think that's a good one.
But I think when you sing a Kilo song, they know a Kilo song.
I don't think so. I think Kilo, and I say that respectfully because I think Kilo is huge for what Atlanta became. I don't think you get
right. Yeah, I feel you.
T.I., D4L. You don't get them without Kilo, I think, and for what he did in the city. But I think if you were to ask someone who is between 35 to 40 years old that grew up in Seattle, name a Kilo song, I don't think they would know. And I think if you play for them, your favorite Kilo hit, I don't think they would know it either. So I don't know. I think now it almost sounds like you're really describing a one-hit wonder that like had one nationwide hit, but had a couple of like a few Atlanta hits. But go ahead, give me your examples though.
All right, well let's change this up a little bit then, right? Because Kilo was one of my main people that came to mind. But who do you think for Atlanta? And we'll make this informational for everyone else. But who do you think was major for Atlanta that other people may not know? Let's just go that way.
Okay, in that way, then Kilo, Raheem Devon. No, is it Raheem? Is it Raheem the Dream? Dang. You know what? Up until last year or this year, I would have said Killer Mike. I would have said
Never Scared. You don't think people heard Never Scared?
See, I think Killer Mike is the example of what you posed the question originally.
Okay,
where
I can see that.
Killer Mike has songs that if you start, the whole world when you people like, oh, that is him, oh, that is him, oh, that is him. But I think he is the example of what you're getting at, because he won a Grammy and it created turmoil where the younger people were like, who the fuck is Killer Mike?
Killer Mike. Like,
right?
Killer Mike ain't been doing this for years.
Right, but if you're from the city, you know that that's Killer Mike. That's that dude.
That's GOAT status, right?
So that's who I would say that up until he won that Grammy and really forced his name, I'll take that back. Pushed his artistry into everyone's face to show, oh, this is how great of an artist he is and how great of a piece of work he created. I think I would have said Killer Mike to answer that question.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, but give me some examples of who you would put in there, because you had more thought to prep for it.
And after talking to you about it, it kind of makes my artists seem like one-hit wonders. I was thinking Archie. Everyone believes We Ready was Pastor Troy.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, bro. It sounds like Pastor Troy, but it's Archie.
But I had to break it to you. He was a one-hit wonder.
He was a one-hit wonder. What you remember about Baby D?
Baby D. Hold on, wait.
West Side.
Yeah.
East Side, West Side, bro. We used to get live, bro.
See, that was an era of rap that I was like, come on, we can do better than that. But
I mean, even when you think about that, right? Go back and listen to it now, and you like, all right, we weren't that bad. Against some of the songs that come out now, it's like, all right, we were bad, but this is terrible.
I don't know, man. Well, then if we're gonna go there, do you remember the rapper Drama? Is he from Atlanta? Drama was from Atlanta, right? Left, right, left, right.
Get on up, get on up, get on up.
Oh no, he was from Alabama. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we had
that explains.
What you remember about what's your boy Yola?
Yeah, I remember him.
You don't wanna get from me. Oh no.
Yeah, but I hate to break it to you, but those were all just one-hit wonders.
It just. I mean, Yola had. I wouldn't call Yola a one-hit wonder because he had 2 tracks. I can't remember what the second track was. He had one album everyone knew though. But I forgot. There was somebody else that I was thinking, like Cujo maybe.
Cujo Goody?
I feel like people don't really know Goody Mob like that. They know CeeLo because CeeLo came out afterwards with Gnarls Barkley, but I don't think many people know who Goody Mob is, right?
Yeah, I think people do, but I think you're right. And I think it's people remember CeeLo, of course, because he had such a prominent career outside of the group. And I think hip hop artists remember Gip, but I think that if not hip hop fans, but I think if you remember Gip, you remember Goody Mob. But I think unfortunately they're, after their third album, they didn't really have a lot of songs that really broke like that. So,
hey, let me ask you this, and I'm about to call myself out. I didn't think about it till you said his name. Gip from Goody Mob. Is that the same person as Big Gip from Boys in the Hood?
Oh, no. You're thinking that no, those are two different people.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, my brain had a null reference exception when he was like Big Gip from Boys in the Hood. I'm like, the movie Boys in the Hood? Like, no, that was
Oh, no, Boys in the Hood.
I know. No, you said it
It
right.
was
Boys in the Hood, the
It
rap
was Boys
group.
in the Hood.
But I went to this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm old.
I know.
But
I
no,
was
those
because I kept thinking, what's the name
Big
of the album?
Gee.
Boys of the South.
Big Gee
Gee. Okay.
is Boys in the Hood.
I don't know why I thought it was Big Gip, but that
Gip
makes, okay.
is and did you ever? I think it was on his CeeLo's second CD when he was beefing with Gip and he had a diss record on there.
Bruh, I'm gonna tell you now, bruh. I ain't listened to a Goody Mob album in years. I don't remember none of it. I remember it's how bad it is, and now I'm gonna call my age out, bruh. So you were on? Did you ever go to the East Side?
No.
No. All right. We had a off South Harrison. We had a record store called A to Z Records.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember the name of the album. It was a Goody Mob album where it was a very dark and satanic looking album with the big ass tree. And
That's the Still Standing.
Yes, that album.
That was their
So,
the second CD.
second
They don't
one,
dance
right.
no more. They don't dance no more.
Hey, all we do. Hey, anyway,
They don't dance no more.
I went to the A to Z Records. I got a poster, and I got all of Goody Mob to sign that poster.
Nice.
I came home ecstatic.
Nice, right?
My mom
You
saw
don't
that
did it.
poster, was like, "What is this satanic thing?" Threw it away. I was hurt, bro. Straight hurt, man.
You know that's funny, and I think it speaks more to your mom's religious like fervor, because you look at that Still Standing CD cover, it's not satanic at all. It's just a tree with their four faces around it.
It was dark though. It was
I'm looking at it right now. It's silver with their faces on
but
it.
the poster was different.
Oh, okay. I know what you had then. I know the poster you're talking about, because they did have one that was kind of funny looking. Yeah. Oh man, the way CeeLo came in on that side. Yeah, my name is Shawty Low, and this is my friend. For years, oh man. Wait, I'll let that go. I'll forgive your mom for that. I'll forgive your mom.
I mean, I done forgave her a long time ago, but when I tell you that one hurt, bro, that one hurt. That one hurt, man.
I dig it. But on that note, we'll apologize to Mama Brix later.
And where you at? I can hear you now. Hey man, I'm gonna have to run a cable. Yeah, I can. I can hear you. You hear me? Nope. All right, if I'm gonna salute you, big guy. I don't know if you can hear me.